Look, one last time, I'm going to be talking about this stupid, pointless No King's March protest. And I realized that maybe I was a little bit too soft yesterday, and I was. Okay, let's address the No King's March protest that took place that stopped the world, and Trump resigned, and oh wait, that didn't happen because he's still the freaking president, and ICE raids are still happening in Chicago. Whoopsie, whoopsie. Turns out that there was a time limit for how long the protest could be. 2 hours allegedly. Y'all remember when Malcolm X and Dr. Martin Luther King told all their followers, "All right, guys, we got a 2-hour time limit to do this protest for civil rights." Sorry, I don't mean to use that mocking voice, but I mean, come on. Would you ever hear Malcolm X say that? Would you ever hear that? And I'm not going to give you a vote on it. No, the answer is no. Malcolm X would never do that. Dr. King would never do that. None of the great civil rights icons would ever do that. But because it was all planned and organized, and then a lot of people who, wanted to protest Trump, they wanted to protest Trump, the orange man who hurts their fifis. You had to give away your email. Don't worry. The funny thing is to me, and this is funny, is that you're going to get text messages, phone calls, and emails from the Democrat Party asking you for money. Can you give us $5, $10, $15, $20, $30, $100? Roe v. Wade. Oh, yeah, Medicare for all and something. Student debt forgiveness, sure. Go ahead and do it while you're eating oodles and noodles. Oodles and oodles and noodles. Noodles and noodles and noodles. You see how I'm feeling right now about that stupid No King's March protest? If things were so bad, because I saw signs out there, I saw signs in Chicago from the photos. I didn't go to the No King's March protest, all right? I have to look myself in the mirror with at least a little bit of pride, knowing that I wasn't part of a sheep herd. Bah. But you look at these signs and be like, we must stop this next version of Nazi Germany. Listen, if this was Nazi Germany, none of y'all would be protesting, okay? The secret police, Commissariat Hans and Fritz, political police, Commissariat Hans and Deputy Fritz here. Fritz, get on the body armor. Or go on head crushing. Oh, right, I can't wait for it. You're all allowed to protest, but it was funded. And you had the Democrat speakers there saying how bad and mean Trump is and King Trump. I'm going to let you all a little hint here for a lot of these protesters. We've had senators and House representatives, mayors and governors be in power for 10 or 20 years. Are you upset about that? I mean, yeah, look, and to be clear, I would be upset too and very concerned if Trump were to run for a third term. But the thing is, maybe it's because I'm so jaded. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think he'd do something that's stupid. But what would be funny is if he had one of his sons run for office and then his next son or whatever that would be. Then we have a whole dynasty of Trumps being president. Whatever. Not the first time this ever happened in human history. And yes, I'm going to be that historian. Now, this isn't the first time. It's a system of patterns. Nations and empires go through this all the time. But if you want to defeat Donald Trump, these protests don't work. Lawfare didn't work. You should defeat him on the debate stage. You should have done that with policies. But no, Democrats don't have a backbone because the Democrats really don't want to change anything. I want to pull this up here. Just for fun. Am I being mean? Absolutely.
That's over the weekend, the No King's protesters.
I think it's a joke. I looked at the people. They're not representative of this country. And I looked at all the brand new signs paid for, I guess it was paid for by Soros and other radical left lunatics. It looks like it was. We're checking it out. The demonstrations were very small, very ineffective, and the people were whacked out. When you look at those people, those are not representative of the people of our country.
Mr. President, besides San Francisco...
By the way, I'm not a king. I'm not a king. I work my ass off to make our country great. That's all it is. I'm not a king at all.
Yeah. By the way, again, I want to read this quote. Let's see. The greatest Malcolm X quote was, "There's only one question about our society today, and that is when will they get to see the Epstein files?" Very true, bad cookies. When will we see the Epstein files? Huh? Will that ever happen? Hey, no King's March protesters. You're going to have that same energy when you find out some of your favorite politicians, including some Democrats or actors or directors or musicians who seem to frequent liberal social circles, or when one day when their names get revealed, are you going to give that same vitriol and fury towards them like you're giving towards Trump? Yeah, I don't know. Probably not. Maybe yes, maybe no. People forgot. People forgot. People forgot. And see, the thing is, this whole idea of a no king. What makes you think, anybody, that once Trump is gone, democracy will come back? Well, we don't have a democracy. Let me say it for the people in back. We have a constitutional republic, or that's what we are, technically. Theoretically, we are a constitutional republic. We're not a democracy. Anybody that tells you we're a democracy, they're misinformed, okay? They need to go to Bovine University. And if you know what I reference, I love you. If you know what I reference. But see, there's a problem now, all right? Because after that big No Kings protest, that No Kings march, woo, Democrats are in a little bit of a quandary now because I'm going to let you all in a newsflash. We have a thing called a government shutdown, and that's not good. It's what you call a no bueno. And Democrat senators fear getting hammered, oh no, up the wazoo after no kings for ending shutdown. Some Democrats, skeptical of their leadership's hardline stance against reopening the federal government, privately acknowledge that they fear getting hammered by their liberal base if they vote for a Republican funding bill. Grassroots Democrats, frustrated with Trump's administration, have been demanding a fight. And on Saturday, millions, showed up at No Kings demonstrations across the country to protest the president's government. Now, look, I'm just going to give you some numbers here. Allegedly, as it stands, 250,000 people showed up in Chicago's No Kings March protest. And 250,000, if that's number, incredible, magnificent. You think that's big? No. It ain't big. That ain't corn star big. No, it really isn't. Because see, Chicago's a city of 2.2 million adults. All right, at least that's according to recent census data. So if you play by percentages, that's like 11%, 11.6% of the population, give or take. That's not a lot of people. That's if they came from the city. Most of them probably came from the suburbs or greater Chicagoland area, but you get the drift. So when millions of people show up, you see, I really question the effectiveness of this because, see, the thing is, if you have 250,000 or 500,000, if you had a million, I mean, that's a big bark. But show up every single day to this liberal base that's demanding its Democrat senators to fight. Show them that you're a threat. Shut it all down. I remember the Labor Day protest. Okay, I got to be mean here. I don't care. I don't care right now. To that Labor Day protest, Labor Day. You know, all the times for those protests, I hear that chant. If we don't get it, shut it down. If we don't get it, shut it down. If we don't get it, shut it down. Okay, fine. I'm being called by Scam Likely. It could be my CIA handler saying, "We've had enough of you, Kit." Hiya. Sorry, so that's that buzzing on the floor. But let me just say this here. There is a government shutdown happening, and it's pretty bad, especially for some of these federal government workers, But to these labor movements, if you really want to show the Democrats and these in the Senate and the House, walk off the job. Do it for a week, 2 weeks. I get it, though. Walking away from a job, losing that paycheck or benefits, that security is a pretty big deal. But I mean, to vote blue, no matter who, you think one protest is just going to change anything? It's a blip on the radar. You got to make it continuous. You got to be like the labor movement and protests of old, which means when you go out in the street, there may be a 100% guarantee you ain't coming home. Just throwing it out there. Everyone's talking about, I'm going to be part of the resistance. Do you have what it takes to be part of the resistance? To go all the way? I'm not trying to be mean here. Sorry, folks. I think it's my CIA handlers, Not trying to be mean here, but I just got to open it up here. Just got to rip that Band-Aid off. And Dr. Nick, thank you, Dr. Nick, for bringing your humor. We do have a democracy over. Yeah, that's right. That's right. We do. We do. 30 billion to Argentina to bail them out. Hey, where's our 30 billion? Let's see. What else? What else we got here? The Epstein issue will come back front and center, as it should. As it should, my friends. As it should be. And what else we have here? Want to make sure we got all the other people. Want to acknowledge the live stream chat. Sorry, chat. Maybe I'm being too mean here. Maybe I'm being too negative. Am I being negative? Am I being mean? Troy McClure wants Trump to know a cow will eat him and his entire family if it gets the chance. Absolutely. Am I being mean? Type 1 for yes, Kit. You are being too mean. You're not being fair to these protesters who showed up on Saturday. Shame on you. They were strong. Type 2, no, Kit, be meaner. I wonder how many 2s will show up in the chat. I wonder, do you ever wonder? All right, I wonder. Continuing on. In context, Democrats know they will get hit hard by a number of voices on the left if they do not get something for opening the government. Well, yeah, people are going to get hammered. Like Nancy Pelosi, drunk hammered or hammered? You know, crazy ha-ha or crazy oh. Ha-ha, crazy. Don't worry, I'll explain the crazy ha-ha and crazy oh later. If they vote for the House bill to reopen the government, keep it funded through November 21st, said one Democrat senator who requested anonymity to talk candidacy about their party. So people are going to get hammered. A second person familiar with the political dynamics was the Senate Democrat caucus, who spoke with Hill ahead of the No Kings protest, said centrist senators are fearful of breaking with leaders while party activists are planning the anti-Trump rallies. We would have enough votes to reopen the government if people were not terrified of getting the guillotine. Okay. All right. Well, only 3 members of the Democrat caucus have voted to reopen the government: John Fetterman, Catherine Cortez Macedo, and Angus King, an independent who caucuses with the Democrats. On Thursday, Senator Jean Shaheen became the 4th Democrat to signal unease with the party's staunch opposition to what in normal times would be relatively uncontroversial funding bills when she voted Thursday to advance $852 billion defense funding bill. Can we get billions of dollars, please? Probably not. We're probably not going to get that. But in regards to this, looking at this, all what the No Kings March protest has really achieved is meme warfare online. That's it. Not mean warfare. Meme. M-E-M-E. Meme warfare. Where you got Donald Trump sharing on his social media, on Truth Social, of him flying a fighter jet and dropping feces on protesters. This is going to be way off subject here. Way off subject, right? Way off subject here. But here you have a video, and I'm going to play it for you guys. I'm going to play it for you guys because you know what? If I had to sit through it, so do you. But here you have it. I'm just going to play this right here. King Trump. All right. There he is. Flying his fighter jet, dropping feces, dropping bombs. Harry, oh no, everybody getting shite on. I guess Donald Trump is a fan of the morning dump. The morning dump where you crap on company time and protester time all the time, every time. I'll play it again. You know, just, and again, this is going to be off subject here, but 3 million years of evolution, humans, and about, many centuries of civilization. But there's one thing to be in common. It seems to always be like feces being thrown at each other. It's the madness and all of its performative art. Even Nancy Pelosi and her performative art. Look, here's Nancy Pelosi.
Going to tear up the crown. Going to tear up the crown.
What now? While this video is 5 seconds long, it took her 1 hour to break the crown. So what's the takeaway here? At the end of the day, No King's March protest did nothing. Okay, there's going to be a lot of Democrats out there that are going to probably vote to reopen the government, to end the government shutdown. All right, because hey, you can't have a government shutdown. It's things got to get operational real soon, real quick. I'm very sorry to tell that to you. And they're going to probably piss off their voting base because it's not the first time the Democratic Party has let down their voting base. All these protesters who showed up, yes, let's say in Chicago, 250,000 strong showed up. Well, show up again. Show up tomorrow and the next day and next week and next month. Stand out there when it's -0 degrees in December, in January, in February, with the cold winds blowing off Lake Michigan. Hold signs calling for a ceasefire in Gaza. Hold signs calling for a ceasefire in the Ukraine. Hold signs calling for the end of money in politics. Hold signs calling the end of corruption. Hold signs calling for the demand of the Epstein files to be released. Hold those damn signs. Go out there. And before anyone says, well, gee, Kit, why don't you do it? You know what? Hey, listen, make me eat my words. I will sit here and I will apologize and be like, okay, wow. They stood out there and protest for 3 months. They made me shut up. Show me. Or you have to wait for some billionaire to fund everything and get the permits so that all your favorite politicians can up there and sing and tell you how they're going to fight, which they never do. Show me. If you really care about this, show me. And I say this because, look, I've covered my fair share of protests, and nothing has changed. Y'all protest on Upper Wacker Drive across the river, Chicago River, across Trump Tower. Did Trump resign? Did his feelings get hurt? You're allowed to protest. You have your First Amendment right. Well, we still have it, at least. Did the Gestapo or the SS come there and crack skulls and say you can't do things? No. Go out there and protest. Make it day in, day out. And that means making the big sacrifice, protesters. Not getting paid, not going to work. You know, you say you make these chants of, hey, show us what democracy looks like. If we don't get it, shut it down. Do it. Don't just wait for one big day for all of you to feel good about yourselves. What, was it therapeutic? Was it therapy? Was it a big circle jerk? Was it a big masturbation fest? Probably so. But Trump's still president. And when you go to sleep, he'll still be president. And your Democrat politicians, the ones who told you to fight, 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 especially those in the Senate and House, don't worry. They're going to reopen the government and vote for Trump's spending bill. Okay? I know, it's a spoiler alert. I read the script in advance. I've been doing this now for 8 years. I'm not trying to be mean, but you're forcing my hand here.